There is a damn good reason as to why Gears of War grew into a massive international decades-long franchise, and the origin point will always go back to where we are now, the very beginning. Welcome everyone, my name is Carmine Forever and I was one of the lucky few to receive an early access copy of Gears of War Reloaded, allowing me to play through the campaign and test this new remaster early. I was unable to play the multiplayer since there was nobody else online,
So where the hell is everybody?
so I will have a separate dedicated review for that in a week or so, once I play it enough to get a good understanding of the gameplay, modes, weapons, maps, etc. I should note that this game kind of got the Last of Us treatment, as this is a remaster of a remaster. The original game came out in 2006, Ultimate Edition was the first remaster of it in 2015, and now 10 years after that, we are getting Gears of War Reloaded, which is further improving the remaster. Just thought you should know, as I'll be referencing all of them quite a lot in this video. For now, please enjoy my review of the Gears of War Reloaded story campaign, spoiler free.
Let's do this.
The premise of the game is set in the prologue cutscene and keeps it short and sweet. Don't worry, I'm not going to recap the entire story. The Locusts are a mysterious underground species of monsters that emerged from the ground 14 years ago on Emergence Day, setting out to wipe every single human off the planet. This single day left billions of humans dead and their survivors scrambling to regain order and fight back. The Coalition of Ordered Governments, or the COG, is the final faction of humanity and must fight day in and day out to stave off extinction. We play as Marcus Phoenix, a disgraced soldier reinstated back into the army after being released from prison. He joins Delta Squad as they attempt to complete a near impossible mission against overwhelming odds in order to change the momentum of the war. Along the way, we'll visit destroyed abandoned cities, decrepit factories, the shadows of an underground mine, and other fascinating locations. Each is filled to the brim with unique backstories that are told to us through character dialogue and visual cues, adding new perspectives on the world and adding weight to our mission. The vast changes in the scenery breathe so much life into this universe as we come to realize what we used to have and what the Locusts took from us. The cutscenes are used to their full potential, typically giving us juicy bits of the story, but are also used to display firefights, showcasing how intense and deadly this war has become. The updated graphics only make them better. Some of them are embedded in my mind forever with how fucking cool they are. They also allow the developers to add more nuance into the characters' faces to show their anger, confusion, and other emotions. The opening act of the game is near perfection in my mind, layering the desperation of humanity in this world combined with amazing character introductions, enemies, weapons, and everything. Every act afterwards continues to build the story in a naturally flowing way, except maybe the transition between Act 3 and 4, though it doesn't hurt the story in any way. However, the story does become a weak point in just early Act 5 in my opinion, which will be my first negative critique. Reloaded includes an extended Act 5 that was not available in the original Xbox release in 2006. This content was available to PC players back then, but only became available to console gamers in 2015 with Ultimate Edition and now here with Reloaded. While it does add more content for you to explore, the new Act 5 to me goes on for just a little too long. There are too many cutscenes that break the flow of the game, while the gameplay itself doesn't bring anything entirely fresh to the table. The entire game before and after these new sections is absolutely stellar, so I wish the developers could have added some way to give it its own exciting flair. I will say it does have one very cool section, but only at the very end of it. But like I said, the ending of the game soon after this point is some of the most fun in the entire campaign, sending it off with an absolute bang and highly satisfying conclusion. And of course, it left something a little special just before the credits roll to let the players know that there was more story brewing for the future. My personal favorite part of this story is learning about new characters and seeing how their interactions transpire as this impossible, frustrating mission continues. Marcus Phoenix is shrouded in mystery, being a stoic leader as he attempts to keep his squad alive and focused on the mission. Dominic Santiago is our best friend, loyal to a T, and hints that he's looking for someone in this broken world. Augustus Cole is a former legendary athlete, constantly bringing hype man energy levels even in the midst of a battle. Damon Baird is a sarcastic genius turned soldier, not one that plays well with the chain of command. And we meet so many other unique characters throughout the story, each bringing in world building tidbits, storylines, and flavor. Way back during the original, I fell in love with Anthony Carmine solely based on how awesome his armor design is and his optimistic attitude. For some reason, his character is what made me fall in love with this franchise, so anytime I see him in his new updated design, it's enough to make a man cry tears of joy. As for the dialogue between the characters, it is written incredibly well for a game that was originally released in 2006, especially the banter between Delta Squad. I think this is what made the game so different from others at the time, because not all of the characters are on the same page or just copy-pasted versions of each other. Each has their own personalities, design, quips, humor, and feelings about the world. When the time calls for it, they laugh and rag on each other, but the second things turn serious, they can focus on the task at hand, communicating battle strategies and calling out targets. And when they do make jokes, their jokes are fucking hilarious. Many of them will have you laughing from your gut, and like me, you can kind of recite them at will.
You think I'm kidding? I think you're batshit crazy. That's what I think.
Oh, ain't that cute?
Like two assholes on their first date.
But also during downtimes, they ask questions to learn more about each other, which gives us the players insights into their characters and backstories. What drives them to continue fighting? Who were they before the war? Is there anything that scares them? The voice actors for all of the cast are so talented, bringing the characters to life in ways unimaginable. This is the type of game where you block out any outside distractions just so you can listen into every piece of dialogue the game has to offer.
Plan? What plan? You don't have a plan? You're just talking shit. Plan.
Just wait and see, asshole.
The enemies of the Locust Horde are fucking awesome with a wide range of designs, functionality, and personality. Each variant changes how you must approach the battle, causing deadly consequences should you try to ignore them. The most common are the Locust drones, using rifles to attack from range, and if needed, using their raw strength to melee you if you get too close. Many will charge into the fight with a battle cry to intimidate their foes. Boomers stand tall and wide, wielding the boom shot, a grenade launcher with devastating potential. Find yourself out in the open or simply distracted, and you are in for a world of hurt. They are also hilariously dumb, calling out their shots before firing, giving away a much needed element of surprise. Grenadiers are equipped with the insane Gnasher shotgun, forcing you to maintain distance to avoid certain death. Take them down fast before they throw a frag grenade to draw you out of position. Their on guards are elite versions of the regular drones, having more health and sometimes using the torque bow, a charged weapon that pierces into enemies before exploding them into mush. Tread carefully and take them out first. Wretches have low health but travel in packs and move fast, looking to overwhelm you while other enemies continue suppressing fire. Berserkers are almost godlike, only able to be brung down by the biggest of weapons available. It will charge and charge and charge at you until one of you is put down for good. I do have to say I wish Cedars and Nemesis posed more of a threat. As a pair, they are more so used as a spectacle rather than a challenge. Future games remedy this issue, but in Reloaded that issue was never fixed. Mainly this is due to how the original was created, but maybe they could have decreased the Nemesis spawn rate so that there are more to worry about, I don't know. Even still, there are plenty of other enemies I didn't talk about that are each as deadly and fun to fight against as the next. Oh, and this game's main villain is a fucking badass, no doubt. To fight back against the Locust, we will find an entire arsenal of badass weapons to shoot. Gears of War has always relied on their sandbox to draw in gamers to live an extraordinary power fantasy, and the original game laid down a solid foundation while Reloaded enhances the experience. While I do wish they could have somehow added some of the newer weapons, they probably would have changed the experience too much from the original. There's no better place to start than the Mark II Lancer or the Chainsaw Lancer. While this weapon houses a decently sized magazine and can output a lot of damage, the fun comes in with the chainsaw, an insta-kill mechanic that saws your enemies in half. There's absolutely nothing more fun than pulling this off. Even after doing it thousands of times across my career, it's still so much fun. Blood sprays everywhere, your character is yelling in rage, and the enemy is yelling in agony while their body jerks and jolts rapidly from the pain. Then their body falls to the ground cut in two. It's exhilarating and even more fun in the multiplayer, so I can't wait to experience that again. Next, we have the bread and butter of Gears of War, the Gnasher shotgun. This lever action shotgun spews out insane damage up close, and the satisfaction of chunking the enemies is like none other. Not to mention how much oomph they put in the sound of each shot. And the long shot, oh my god, I love this sniper rifle. The sound of popping a head is beautiful, one of those sound bites that you will remember for the rest of your life.
Whoa.
The Locusts also have some sweet weapons you can encounter, like the previously mentioned torque bow. Charging it up, lining up a shot, and nailing a target is rewarded with a beautiful array of blood and guts thrown into the air. The Troika mounted turret is the ultimate hold-the-line weapon, sending a hail of large caliber bullets down range and ripping apart any enemy in your line of sight. There are two weapons that I wish could have been tweaked in this remaster, that being the Hammer of Dawn and the Boltok pistol. At least for the campaign, the Hammer of Dawn on purpose is unusable for most of the campaign, only really utilized when a Locust Cedar has to be taken down. After you kill whatever major target you have to take out, they typically take it offline, forcing you to equip a different weapon. And although this was an issue set during the original game, I wish Reloaded could have tweaked it somehow to be used in more areas. The bolt-action pistol packs an incredible punch, but in my opinion the fire rate is just a little too slow for the campaign. The amount of DPS you get feels like it's just not good enough compared to how good the snub pistol is. Comparably, both of these issues are tiny with how good the rest of the sandbox feels. Gears of War Reloaded does a great job recapturing these weapons and what makes them fantastic. The pairing of visual and audio improvements only makes them that much more exciting to use. Suffice to say, Reloaded is visually stunning as a game. Everything from the cutscenes, to the background scenery, to the character designs, and especially the enhanced lighting, shadows, and textures. I think this is where Reloaded really brought me on board. In Ultimate Edition, the lighting situation felt like it was the same across every chapter in every act. Whether we were on the streets of Afira or in an underground mine, to me everything seemingly blended as one. But now with Reloaded, there is a very stark contrast in the visuals, adding layers to the scenery and making it more rich in color. Together, these create an incredible atmosphere, very nostalgic to the original while also letting me see everything in great detail. I did find some cases where the light, shadows, and textures flickered trying to find its footing. Not many, but enough to where I feel I need to mention it. As you've been seeing on screen, I've been comparing Reloaded to the original game and the previous Ultimate Edition where you can see the differences. And for reference, I ran the original on my Xbox 360 Slim, and for the other two I played them on PC with their highest preset quality. So for Ultimate Edition it was high, and for Reloaded I was playing on Ultra. For me, I was aiming for 144 FPS, which Reloaded did with ease, but Ultimate Edition was hitting around 130 FPS. Back to it, I can already see the comments of people saying that there is not much of a difference, and to a certain degree I can concur. It's not night and day differences like it was from the original to Ultimate Edition, but it is an improvement that made my experience throughout the story more enjoyable. Switching up to level design is constructed beautifully top to bottom. Just walking out of our prison cell when we gain control of Marcus, there's so much detail. The blood smears on the wall, and in the cell next to you, there's a broken into cell with a body inside that has been torn and ripped apart. Newspaper and street signs litter the ground beneath rusty vehicles. Small fires illuminate the otherwise abandoned dark roads. Windows broken with bloody mattresses left inside. Forgotten corpses can be found in every corner, displaying the longevity and cruelty of the war. The developers really put a lot of effort into making every room and every scene feel full of history. You can walk around seemingly any time and find details that many may have simply walked by without a second thought. And because it's Gears of War, a lot of attention went into making the weapons and gore look good too. The Lancer barrel turns red hot as you continue firing with smoke rising from the weapon. Sawing a locust in half leaves behind two disgusting parts of a body, or you can use a gnasher and absolutely shred a drone into minced meat. Little details like this are found in almost every gun, making them even more interesting to use. The music of Gears of War has always been a highlight point, and it once again started back in the original, carried into Reloaded. Should this be your first time playing through, or just want to return and hear some bangers, keep your music turned up while you play the campaign. Typically, music aimed towards the cog is loud, glorious, almost like a victory anthem. While the Locust have a rapid, fast-paced music to match their battle strategy of hit and runs. The music will sometimes combine both styles for a chaotic piece, mimicking that of a war zone on a battlefield. And when the fighting ceases and you find yourself walking through the streets at night, wondering what will happen around the next corner, the music becomes uneasy to exemplify these feelings. The music of Gears of War is just so damn good, enough to where you might blast it in your car on your next trip to Arby's. Arby's, please sponsor me. This topic has been one the community tends to fixate on for a very good reason: the weight behind the game. We play as massive soldiers fighting against bigger enemies with everyone shooting over-the-top weapons. It's important that this notion comes across because if it feels like we are shooting a pea shooter or running Usain Bolt levels of speed, it will feel uncanny. But thankfully, Reloaded still feels amazing in terms of weight in so many aspects. When you take cover, Marcus and Dom slide and slam into the wall, grunting from the sudden stop and their armor sounding like it took the brunt of the hit. I spoke on it before, but the battle cry you hear from chainsawing a locust feels primal, with blood spraying onto the screen. The bolt-action pistol sounds like a Civil War cannon is being set off with each shot. Every time you fire the Gnasher, it sounds like it's aiming to rip apart flesh, and between every shot is the lever action sound to add a little more life to the weapon. After getting a kill, the characters will sometimes yell out voice lines, taunting their enemies, or showing their excitement of another victory. Brumok's footsteps shake the ground beneath you to display their intense size and weight. And while you walk, jog, or run, you can hear your heavy boots hit the ground and visually see the pouches on your armor shift and bounce as if they actually had weight within them. Shooting the Troika if you have camera shake on is mind-blowing. You can tell just how hard it would be to control its massive recoil, but also how large a caliber you are sending down range. The cutscenes also do a great job of this, especially for the battle scenes, with bullets flying, corpses dropping, and the constant communication between Delta Squad. But I have to admit, some things miss their mark in my opinion, like the hammer burst, the cedars, and maybe even the torque bow explosion to an extent. I also realized that a few minor but common glitches were still present in the game, carrying over from Ultimate Edition and maybe the original. Experiencing these can break the weight and overall immersion of the game, some being silly and others just annoying. Kim fake yelling while turning a wheel, this wretch disappearing into the wall somewhere forcing me to restart a checkpoint, this random invisible wall that you can take cover on, Dom's AI here not leaving the area to unlock a door for me, so I have to restart checkpoint again, the AI in general never listening to my goddamn squad commands, and a few others that I found. I expected at least some of these to be fixed and reloaded, as in my mind I thought some of them were well known, but maybe I'm projecting. Sure, they aren't massive issues, but they can still break your immersion in what might be intense, exciting moments. Overall, the heftiness of the game is near perfection, everything coming together to let you experience what it would be like for massive muscular humans and monsters to throw hands in the craziest ways possible. With all said and done, that brings us to determine my final opinion on Gears of War Reloaded's campaign. Does it live up to the original's legacy? Did the remaster of a remaster make sense? And most importantly, is it good? Even with the flaws I have pointed out about some of the weapons, glitches, and chapters, overall, yes, this is still a fantastic fucking campaign. Not only does it live up to the OG, but it does a great job bringing their intent into the new age with enhanced upgrades. Speaking of it being a remaster of an already remastered game, I think they could have made it better by patching some of the glitches, tweaking some of the weapons, or adding new ways to make the less fun sections more exciting and worthwhile. Thankfully, many things I noticed were minor, no major game-breaking glitches or anything that completely ruined my experience. Though I can't say I'm not disheartened that some of these things weren't attempted. To be completely honest about this campaign, I actually had to stop myself from playing through it again on insane difficulty because I knew I needed to focus on writing the script and editing the video. I've already played through it countless times on the original and Ultimate Edition, and I know I will have no problem loving it on Reloaded. Seriously, it's a timeless classic and so much fun. If you enjoy a good story, then I think you will really like this game. And if it's your first time playing Gears of War, where better to start than with the very beginning? Plus, the game only costs $40, which is a great steal considering you gain access to an amazing story and hopefully an equally amazing multiplayer. And if you already purchased Ultimate Edition in the past, you should have been sent a code for a free copy of this upgraded version, which is a nice gesture from the developers. If you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed Gears of War or are just getting into it, please consider subscribing to my channel as I have a lot of exciting content on the way. And don't forget to let me know your thoughts about Reloaded or just this video in general down in the comments. I hope to have my review for Reloaded's multiplayer out in a week or so after I play it top to bottom. I also have other exciting content on the way for Reloaded very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you to my channel members and a special thank you to my Elite Onyx Guard, Bizarre Clay, Rocket, Dovankin, El Loco Encerrado, Alp, Kenrich Knight, It's Haha, Hosomi, Sugarcane, Ranger Elias, Psycho Andrew, Shape07, Titan Gaming, Mr. Fox Minister, The Grub Killer VODs, Sebastian, Purple Ranger, Natalie Alphonse, Steam Agent, and Johnny Boy 556 for supporting the channel. Alright Gears, till next time.
Ain't so tough now, are you?